interested just in some of how the school has developed, and one of the things I think of in particular is how you said to me that before founding it, it wasn't easy to create the school, but all of the adversarial situations, hurdles, and so forth that you can you talk a little about what some of an example of something like that came up and.
Yeah. Gee, which one should we use?
Well, I'm thinking septic tank or something like that.
Yeah, we had. What's totally ironic about that is that now we have Walmart a block away, kind of thing, right?
And these people were talking about they didn't want this
yes, they didn't want the school to be here and to be developed because, it was a rural area and that's the way it should stay. And so when it came time for our school to get approval, the septic became an issue and people were fighting against us, saying that because there was no sewer connection, that we shouldn't be allowed to be there because we were going to use a tank, and that the trucks coming up and down the road were going to be dangerous to the population in case one of them trucks hit a bump and turned over and the sewage seeped out into the fish-bearing streams down the way, so that was one of the things that, the many things that sort of we came up against. But for each one of those things, it gave us actually some strength. We received strength from that, in that we know that we're doing the right thing, and we believe in what we're doing, and it helped us. I think it helped us work harder. It was almost the more opposition we had, the harder we worked at it. So it wasn't that I don't want to say that we turn negative energy into positive energy. Sounds pretty high. Sounds pretty big, doesn't it? But I think that we did find a way to sort of take the things that were going wrong or off for us, to turn it into, to take it and turn it into something, because we believe so strongly in what we were doing.
And it kept fortifying your identity as people who persevere and we're going to get this.
We're going to make this happen.
And you said many things happened.
Many things happened.
But how frequently would you find that there would be some kind of obstacle to overcome these?
Before the school opened, it was daily. It would be daily. It would be, the cost came in on this thing that we thought was going to be $100,000 and now it's $300,000. Okay, well we can't afford the 100, let alone the 300. So how are we going to? And then it would be, so and so just talked to City Hall and they're not going to let us do that. Now we have to do this. Oh dear. Well, that's going to take more time, and so now that puts our timeline off. Or then when we were having one of our readings at City Hall, they have to put an ad in the paper to give proper notice to everybody, and the ad didn't come out right. Like the city ran, like the city didn't run the ad properly. And so that meant that the timing was off for us to open the school, because they had to run the ad again in the following week, and because it was the weirdest.
But you could have taken that as the omen that, well, maybe the school isn't supposed to be. There's just so many things against it, maybe we just need to listen to that, all that. But instead, you took it the other way, which was, we know we're right, and we're going to persevere.
We're going to persevere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there must have been, like when something came in at 300,000, you expect 100. There must have been a desire on the part of some people to say, well, let's just scale back. Let's do things more cheaply.
Well, it's interesting. That's true. That did happen. And what it caused us to do was have really good conversations about the things that we were doing. And this is a perfect example. It kind of comes full circle around this, because in our school we have that big granite fireplace.
Yeah, right.
And one of the reasons when we were designing the school, we talked about, well, so what do we want what do we want the students to feel when they walk in the front door? How do we want them to feel about this place? And one of the things that everybody at the table said, well, we want it to be like their home away from home. We want it to feel like home when they come in the door. So someone said, well, then we should build a fireplace. We should have a fireplace because that, be warm and make people feel, that they were at, their home away from home. And so we had quite a heated debate because it was a very costly thing. And, a couple of people even said, there's no way we're building a fireplace. Well, we do have a fireplace, and we did build it, and it did cost us extra money to build. And we made that choice because we wanted people to feel that way. And so I think it was actually a really inexpensive investment over the long run.
Yeah.
But recently we had just last week, I had a fellow come in who's he's an advertising agency, and talking about branding in a school, like making sure that all of our printed materials consistent and all that kind of thing. We got to the end of the meeting and he said, now, if you could just give me a figure of what I have to work with, here, that would really help me sort out, what recommendations I would make to you. And I said, I'd rather not do that. Come with me. So we went out down the hall and I said, you see that fireplace? And he said, yes. And I said, what do you think about the fireplace in a school? I said, well, it's very different. I don't think I've ever seen a fireplace in a school. He said, but it is beautiful. And I said, well, if we had said to ourselves, let's talk about why we can't do this, then we wouldn't have a fireplace. So I don't want to say to you, you've got this much money to work with, because I think it's going to actually limit your thinking, and I think it's going to limit, what we're going to get in the end. So I want you to go away, and I want you to think big, and come back to me, and then I'll make it happen. I'll make whatever as long as we believe it's the right thing, then I'll find a way to make it happen, just like we built that fireplace. And he went, okay, I get it now. Okay, yep, we'll do that. And so after he left, because Renee and I were in the meeting together, she said, he really wanted to get a number from you. He really was trying to get an amount. And she said, but that was good. Like that makes so much sense that you wouldn't want to tell the amount. So it was an interesting little circle of sort of how we were thinking, and how
right.
we still have to think that way, because if we quit thinking that way,
Right.
then I think we won't be delivering on our promise to people, on our promise to ourselves either.
Yeah.
Yeah.